Arcasia's Island releases this week, and with it, a bunch of fun new decks to try out. Let's look at a budget-friendly option that you can hop right in on week 1 with. Hello, hello, my name is Donald, aka the Scruffy Looking Gamer, and it's been a while, but I'm here with a budget-friendly deck tech for Disney Lorcana, Arcasia's Island release this week. And I want to hit a theme deck that I am really excited about. I'm calling it the Paw Patrol. It's 101 Dalmatians, puppies, it's whatever you want to call it, but it is all about the puppies. So it all kind of centers around this little guy right here, Dalmatian Puppy Tail Wagger. You may have up to 99 copies of this card in your deck. There are 5 different versions, I think, 4 or 5 different versions. So I threw in, what is this? Is he E? I think it's E. I threw in E, but you can throw in whichever version is your favorite, or you can mix and match. You can have, it doesn't matter which version, which art, but there are 31 of these in this deck. Because our whole plan here is to just dump a bunch of puppies on the board and overwhelm our opponent. They do only quest for 1, but that shouldn't matter if we can just flood the board with them. They are 2/3s, which is important. They do dodge some pretty popular removal, like let the Storm Rage on, not Swords to Plowshares, that's magic. Whew, grab your swords. They dodge a bunch of removal that is 2 damage based, and I think that is going to be pretty relevant coming into this new meta. I feel like this set is going to shake up the meta like no other set has so far. Not necessarily with a bunch of new competitive decks, but a bunch of decks that never really had a chance before. And now with these dual ink cards, they really have a chance to kind of push some color combinations we haven't seen before. This is one of them. I mean, there haven't been any big Amber Sapphire decks out there, but I think this deck is a lot of fun. This is a deck I'm definitely going to take to my local Lorcana League and try out. But let's get into it. So we only have one drop as far as a character goes. We're running this Roger Radcliffe, and when he quests, he's kind of really vulnerable. But the fact that when he quests, you can remove up to 1 damage from each of your puppy characters is pretty significant. I mean, if you have 10 puppies out on the board and they all have damage on them, one character questing and wiping damage off all of them, I think, is a pretty big deal. I wouldn't quest him unless I really needed to move that damage, unless the board was clear on the other side and you knew he was gonna stick around. I would kind of save him for those steel decks that are gonna have a lot of damage based removal. So he's in there just kind of have a 1 drop, and also the Canine Crunchies. I think it's important to add, like I said, there's a lot of damage-based removal, and I think it's important to add that extra toughness on there, so kind of keep them around a little bit longer. So I think this is a pretty really good 1 drop to have in there. I'm only running 3 copies of it, but ideally you want to see one of these 2 guys on your turn 1, so that you at least are doing something. But then the majority of the time you're going to be drawing these 2-cost Dalmatian puppies. And the real, I think, key that makes this deck kind of really neat is the fact that you can throw these guys into ink, and then later on, late in the game, you got this Pongo that at the start of your turn, look at the cards in your inkwell, and you can play puppy characters from there for free. So you need them in your ink early just to have stuff to ink, but then in the late game, when you're kind of low on cards, you don't have much to do anymore, you just start playing them out of your inkwell. Like, that's intense. That's pretty cool. There's 3 copies of him in here just because he's a 6 cost. It's the higher end of our curve. We don't really want to be going to any higher than that. So only 3 of him, 2 of Perdita here. She's another kind of way in the late game to just start throwing puppies on the board. When you play this character and when she quests, you can put a character with 2 or less from your discard free. So, of course, all of our Dalmatian puppies qualify for that. So, any of them that are down in the discard, Perdita can just start putting them back onto the board. Pretty cool. And then there's just a couple other little neat feigns that you can do, like when Pepper's on the board, and if your puppy characters are banished, they go into your inkwell. So that just fuels this Pongo for later on. I mean, it's gonna ramp you, get you extra ink in there that you don't have to put in yourself, and you can just play them back out later. So you got that Pepper. You got this Lucky here, and it's kind of another. You don't really have card draw in this deck, but you have ways to get more cards out without having to actually draw them per se. So when he quests the top 2 cards of your deck, reveal any number of puppy cards, put them in your hand, rest on the bottom of any order. I mean, you're going to be hitting a puppy card. There's here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 non-puppy cards. I guess the adults here don't count as puppies, but the chances are you're going to hit at least 1 puppy in those top 2 cards. So pretty much when he quests, draw 1 to 2 cards is what that card says. This Perdita lets you pay 2 less for the next puppies you play when she quests. I mean, these things cost 2, so you're just playing them for free after she quests. And giving things ward is maybe potentially helpful. Most of the time, the things that matter aren't going to be removing them single target. It's going to be kind of a mass removal in this deck. So the ward's kind of, I mean, it's nice, it's okay, but it's not life-changing by any means. Thunderbolt, I think, is really cool because he has puppy shift, and that just means you can shift him on top of any of the puppy characters. So, you know, throwing him down and letting some of your stuff kind of, he's got 7 toughness. I mean, letting your stuff kind of quest out without having to worry about being removed, pretty nice. So, like I said, the whole goal is just to get as many puppies on the board, as many characters on the board as you can, turn them all sideways, gain that lore, and then I have 1 copy of 99 Puppies in here, mostly just because it's a 5 cost uninkable. You just don't want to be drawing this onto an empty board. It's kind of doesn't feel great. So I think 1 copy is enough because it is a pretty decent card to close out a game. If you've got 5, 6, 7 characters on the board, you quest, or you play this and then you quest with them, and then you just gain that much lore based on how many characters you have. I mean, this is a flood the board deck, so I think this card just fits in really well, and it's on theme. Every card in here is on theme. So if you want to play a true themed deck, here you go. This one is for you. It is under $100, which I consider under $100 to be pretty budget in modern TCG world. Under $50 would probably be better, but some of these prices are going to come down. Like these are pre-release prices on Lucky, $5 on Perdita, $5 on all these new cards. They won't stick at those prices very long. So this deck will get cheaper. I think this is easily an under $50 deck here in a few weeks. But the main thing you have to look out for in this deck is going to be when you go up against those red decks that are running the Be Prepared. Be Prepared is not going to be great for you in this deck. A lot of the steel-based decks are going to be rough too if they start. Grab Your Swords kind of fell out of favor for a while. I think it might come back a little bit in this set, but Grab Your Swords can be rough for this deck too. But really, it's the Be Prepared you have to look out for. And if you want to go off theme, you could throw in 4 copies of the Bare Necessities. Take out four Dalmatian Puppy Tailwagger. Throw in 4 copies of Bare Necessities. That's going to allow you to kind of hit those Be Prepared, hit those Grab Your Swords at those key moments when you're playing against a red player, and next turn they're going to be getting up to 7 ink. go ahead and sing one of those bare necessities with one of your puppies. Get that, be prepared out of their hand, and you're good to go after that. So I think that makes the deck a little bit more competitive. If you want to add that in, it's optional really. But yeah, that's it. This is the entire deck. The hardest part is probably going to be finding 31 copies of this Dalmatian puppy. I mean, he is only 45 cents. That's a good thing. But ask your friends. I'm sure everybody's got a bunch of them laying around. There are, like I said, 5 different artworks. So you're going to you can pick up any number of the different ones you want, throw them in there, and play with the puppies. So if you like this and you want to see more, you have suggestions on a deck maybe you think is going to be a fun deck for this upcoming meta with the new release, let me know in the comments, and I will try and do more of this. If people like it and you enjoy it, then let's do it. Until next time.